with an Isri though. You feel me? Nah.
Nah.
They're gonna be checking. Nigga, but why I keep fucking up? Fucking bitch.
They follow me for who I am while you do what they want you to. The foolery ain't cool to me and that ain't what I wanna do. I write my rhymes in the sign and puff my marijuana pen. I'm like an oil spill the way I mix the gas with oxygen. Dope from Ed Moccasin, ain't tripping off of accolades. 7 Deuce Fleetwood, feeling like the Mac today. Stacking Frito-Lay, not caring what you gotta say. Sock it to my pocket, otherwise you can underlay. I'm out the trunk like Short and Freddie B. And I'm like, see, biscuit, baby, you can bet on me. I was taught, keep it cool, handle shit like a G. Not emotional or jealous, I don't feel no envy. When a peer do they thing, mentality of a lame. Tryna look at my hand, but we ain't even playing the same game. Shift your mind frame, reap the benefits. Cause though we ain't the same, I still wanna see you winning, kid.
I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, darling. I got nothing but love for you, baby. I got nothing but love for you, darling.
Y'all tapping in the Urban Moguls beat right here. We dropped the most game. You feel me? I'm gonna need y'all to tap in right quick. Hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, that like button. Leave a comment. You feel me? Anything to help to build this platform. You feel me? Cause it's for y'all. It's not for me. You know what I'm saying? We right here with a real special guest. He goes by the name of Nicofasho. Go ahead, bro. Let them know where you from, what you doing, what's your ethnicity.
What's up, man? My name is Nicofasho. I'm from Livermore, California. I'm from Livermore. We're gonna keep on laughing throughout this whole thing.
God,
Doesn't matter. I'm from Livermore, California. This is my homeboy right here, so fuck it. I'm from Livermore, California. My name is Nicofasho. I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a rap artist. Most importantly, I'm a funk artist. Should I be looking at this camera or that one?
Either one.
Most importantly, I'm a funk artist. First and foremost, I'm a funk artist. And my ethnicity, as far as that goes, is, you know, I'm a people's person. So.
Okay, I like that answer, cause you a lot of ethnicities.
Yeah.
From what we talked about before the cameras.
Earlier, before the
right,
cameras.
exactly. I like that. You people's person. Go ahead, let the people know what was it like growing up in Livermore, California for you.
Livermore, California.
You know what I'm talking about?
Livermore, California is pretty boring, man. It's pretty boring. It's just the suburbs, you know.
Yeah.
It's right outside of the Bay Area, so we get a little glimpse of the
borderline, right? Borderline of Valley and Bay Area.
Yeah, very true. Because once you cross over to the hills, that's Tracy and that's a valley.
Right.
So we're right there on the border, but at the same time, we're very tri-valley. We share our area with Dublin, Danville, fucking Pleasanton.
Right.
So people look at us like we're just the end of the BART line. You know?
Right.
But at the same time, Livermore has a lot of culture too.
You know what they say, right? If you don't got a BART in your section, you ain't Bay Area.
Yeah, well, we don't. They've been trying to put one
technically,
in our section for
right?
a while.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I mean,
Pleasanton has one too, and I think we're a little more Bay Area than Pleasanton is.
So what was it like growing up in Livermore, California for you?
Pretty easy breezy, man. I mean, it's the suburbs, man. So, you know, it was...
So wherever the wind's going, you going?
Well, you know, I hung out with a lot of different people. I guess that's something that Livermore provides to you. It allows you to hang out with different types of people. So, you know, it was pretty mediocre, vanilla until I got to high school and drugs got involved. Then once you get drugs involved, shit gets more interesting.
So before the drugs, what kind of people were you hanging out with? Like what kind of ethnicities?
Oh shit, white people.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's all I came from.
What about your household? What was your household like?
Oh well, my household is different than where I was growing up at.
Right.
Yeah.
So what was your household like?
Well, my dad was Native American, Indian, Mexican. He was from Oak Park in Sacramento.
What part of Oak Park?
3rd Avenue. My mom was from Tahoe Park in Sacramento, which is south side Sacramento.
Right.
Over there off of Fruit Ridge.
So you grew up in Sacramento for the first part of your life?
No, my parents are both from Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
I never grew up in Sacramento. I grew up going to Sacramento all the time.
Yeah. They came to Livermore together?
They came to Livermore together. I was born in San Jose.
Okay, damn.
I was born in San Jose because my mom worked at a. My dad ended up getting a job as a what do you call it? Subcontractor or whatever. He was doing shit for Silicon Valley. My dad got a Silicon Valley job, and my mom was a nurse. My mom is a burn unit nurse to this day for Santa Clara Valley Hospital.
Got you.
So we were in San Jose, and then my grandfather, my dad's dad, he was from Sacramento. So when he would come over to San Jose from Sacramento, he would stop in Livermore, and he would, you know, fuel up on gas, do whatever he needed
go
to
to
do.
wineries and shit. Outside shit.
I don't know. I don't know if he did all that.
Yeah.
But he would do that kind of shit. And then so he went to my dad one day and he was saying, hey, you should go to Livermore because it looks like a cool area.
Yeah.
And then when my dad showed up, the school, we moved into the school. It was down the street.
Yeah.
And the school that was up the street from where my dad moved into, it was like this little cheesy ass painting. Like cheesy ass painting, but it was like a white kid, a yellow kid, a red kid, a brown kid, and a black kid.
A little bit of everything.
They were all holding hands.
Yeah.
And my dad looked at it, he was like, that looks like a cool neighborhood that I would want to move into.
Yeah.
So my dad decided he wanted to move into that neighborhood in Livermore. So we moved into that neighborhood. Livermore was hella cheap at the time, so we got in there. And then we found out later that that's not really what Livermore looked like.
Right.
You know.
At what time did you move into Livermore? What year?
95.
95. How old was you?
I was 5.
5.
No, I was 4.
4.
I was 4.
Okay.
I was 4.
So what did you see coming out of your house, growing up, maybe 5, 6, 7? What was you seeing?
Well, to me, that shit was just normal because I was 4 or 5 years old. But then I walked around and we had different, like, it was weird. It was weird because there were certain neighbors that we had that were from Livermore, and that was a whole different vibe we got from them.
Yeah.
But then there were certain neighbors from Hayward or Oakland or stuff, and they looked more like we did. Or they kind of understood. I felt like even as a younger kid, not knowing what was going on, like I felt like they kind of knew what we were, like I just connected to them more. I connected to them a little bit more.
Right.
So then we grew up with them, and then we all grew up with like a community within a community.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Livermore is weird, man, because when you start moving into the burbs and stuff, especially me, because like I'm coming from Sacramento, moving into the burbs in the Bay Area, because my dad and my mom happen to both get jobs in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's a lot of kids like me who probably came from the Bay Area that moved out east. For me, it was like we were actually moving out west towards the Bay Area.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So what kind of feeling did you get from that?
Well, I mean, when I was a kid, I didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
You know, as you're a kid, but you get little subtle hints.
Right.
You know, like you get little subtle hints that you're
not.
What
was the difference that you seen from Sacramento area and the borderline of the Bay Area?
Well, Sacramento, the area that I was growing up in, it was something where I was used to people that had been there for a long time.
Right.
So I knew people who had been in that community for a long time.
Yeah.
So when I show up, it was people who knew my grandfather.
Right.
Ever since his grandmother came over there from the IE or from from LA when she came from Mexico.
Yeah.
So she came from LA over there, and then so it was like a real tight-knit community, and by the time I got into Livermore, it just wasn't that connected like that. Like it was more everyone's separate.
Well, I mean, that's what they say, the Bay Area in NorCal is a lot different because there's a lot of gangbanging going on in the NorCal, and Bay Area is its own identity. You feel me? But a lot of NorCal, it comes from SoCal, and all that other stuff. It comes from the East Coast. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But obviously, from SoCal to NorCal, that's why there's a relation of gangbanging. You see the red and blue thing going on, and a lot of territorial stuff going on. You know
a
what I
lot
mean?
of territorial stuff going on too.
Yeah.
And I think that all does come from like the Mexican community, whereas if you're from South, you have a closer tie to
Right.
Mexico.
Right.
And when you're from up north, they say that's how the gang started, because when you
Yeah.
started up north, it was because you didn't feel a connection with the people that you came from,
Right.
and they kind of looked down on you because you didn't speak Spanish, or because you didn't do everything that somebody who came from that descent should do.
Yeah.
So they felt spited and they did their own shit, which, you know, that's its own thing too. Because
Its own identity, yeah.
Yeah, it's its own identity, because if you can't speak Spanish, then you can't speak Spanish. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's not anything against you. It's just
Yeah.
you can't do it. I can't
Yeah.
speak Spanish. I don't know if you can. But
Yeah, I
I
could.
can't. Yeah, nah, it's cool. But I'm
It ain't
jealous.
cool, nigga.
Yeah, nah, it's cool.
Nah, type shit. That's it.
Nah, I'm jealous though. I'm jealous
Yeah.
though, for real.
Nah, you good.
But you know, that's where it came from. It came
Yeah.
from people looking down on, from brown people looking down on other people. And when you come down to it, that comes from a different structure.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to get too deep or
Yeah.
too political or anything, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like, Spain is European.
Man, it is. Hey, we can go on and on about that shit, man. It's a lot of, you feel me? Cause I know what you're saying. You feel me? I could go on and on about that shit. You feel me? Like I had a lot of different beliefs, and everybody at the end of the day, it's everybody's own opinion. You feel me? It's how they were taught.
Some of it's facts, too.
Yeah, no, it is. You feel me? What was it like in your household though? Like you grew up with both of your parents, right?
Yeah, grew up with both my parents. Yeah.
What was some morals that you got from your parents?
Oh man, I got great morals from my parents. My dad was very big on loyalty.
Right.
My dad was very big on having a small circle and being loyal to those people that you're in the
Surrounded
circle
by,
with.
yeah.
And my mom was also like that, but she didn't preach it as much.
Yeah.
She was still like that.
Right.
So my mom was actually the one who came from a first generation family, even though
Yeah.
she came from Europe.
Right.
But my dad, he just carried those on. So it was almost like my dad would be the one who would preach that shit to me, and my mom would be the one who'd really drive it home to me.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of how I became the person I became to be. My bad. I know you told me to keep it short, and I'm...
No, you good,
blah,
bro.
blah, blah.
No,
Yeah.
you good.
But yeah,
Speak your truth.
yeah, it's my truth. That's my truth. My parents both treated me well. They both did, they did good by me, and that's how I ended up becoming how I am today.
Yeah.
I'm very grateful for both my.
So what would you say? Cause I mean, you use a lot of ethnicities, right? What would you say was the most traditional thing that you was taught in your household?
Like the tradition.
Was it like
that I
the
stuck
Mexican
onto
side? Was it the Indian side? Like
Mexican
Native
side.
American side?
Yeah. the
Or
Mexican
your
side.
what was it?
By far the most, because my grandfather, he was half Mexican, half
Right.
Indian, and my grandmother, she was half Mexican, half Filipino. So
Right.
they were both half Mexican. So they both didn't have a complete grasp on what it meant to be Mexican, but they had
Right.
their shit.
Yeah.
And then they both came together, and both of them came from Michoacan. Both of the sides. came
Michoacan,
from
both of them?
Michoacan. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So, like I'm.
So you like beans? Nah, I'm talking shit. Hey,
I like Michoacan.
yeah.
And
Have you
that's
ever been
my
there?
shit. Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like? Tracing your roots?
Shit was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it a culture shock?
It was.
Why is that?
Because the shit was just so different, bro. Like no Wi-Fi, no nothing.
Yeah. What did it make you feel like inside? Was you like, man, this is who I am. This is where my parents come from.
Yeah.
Or was it like, I don't
It
know.
made me feel like I was close to home. Like
Yeah.
I felt more at home there than I do in Livermore.
Right.
To be completely honest.
Yeah.
Because when I'm in Livermore, I don't always feel at home. Even though I grew up here and shit.
Right,
like
right.
I feel like I still have to fight for it.
Right.
Livermore. Like I still feel like I had to be like, this is mine.
Yeah.
Even though I grew up here, even though I've been here since I was a little kid, you might look at me like I don't belong here.
Man, I understand that because, I don't want to get too deep into it, but at the end of the day, what I try to tell people is like, whatever your color is, you gotta own it. So if you're black, you're brown, they look at you as you're black. They don't say you're from the U.S. You're not American, right? They look at you, you're brown, you're Mexican before you're American. So you gotta kind of own it in a sense.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You have to own it in a sense, and it's just fucked up in the first place that to say you're black means something negative.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because that's just, we don't have any, like somebody who's black might have no different genetic differences from somebody who's white, but it's just your pigmentation, that one little thing. So it's fucked up, bro. Like that whole race thing, I don't fuck with it.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
I don't fuck with it.
Hell yeah. Well, look, man, we about to jump into part 2. You feel me? We right here with Nicofasho. You learn a little bit about where he's from, you know, his ethnicity, how he came up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? But we about to jump into part 2. You know what I'm saying? We right here with Nicofasho. I'm gonna need y'all to hit that subscribe button, that notification bell, a like button, leave a comment. You know what I'm saying? Y'all tapping into Urban Moguls B. Right here we drop the most game. Let's go.